So today we shall discuss about deep learning frameworks, especially Pytorch and TensorFlow, and we shall discuss about the similarities, their differences, and which one is better. So let's just explore about a little more into the similarities between the two. So PyTorch and TensorFlow, they are the deep learning libraries, and they are the most popular frameworks which are being used for training your model and for deep learning, training deep learning models, also your neural network, artificial intelligence, you name the model, and these libraries have the packages for that. You train the machine learning model easily with these two libraries, and they are open and free source libraries. So even the beginners can really start with their neural network architecture, the very first project. So that's a good news for us, right? So now let's begin with the PyTorch. I'll give you a basic introduction about PyTorch. This is based on Torch library and was developed by Facebook AI Research Lab, which is also known as FAIR, and it was released in 2016. Its stable version has been released recently, that is on 28th of July 2020. So this PyTorch is again used for implementation of your computer vision and NLP task, and it is more intuitive and more Pythonic because it is basically designed for Python. That's why it is PyTorch. Okay, and now I'll come to another our deep learning framework, and that is TensorFlow. Now, this is very popular, and this library is being developed by Google Brain team. So there's the first difference that this is developed by Google, and PyTorch is being developed by Facebook. And this TensorFlow is based on Theano, which is a math library, and Theano was also a Greek mathematician. And this TensorFlow is a little older because it was released in 2015. TensorFlow stable release has been released on 24th of September recently, 2020, and it just updates itself and releases most recent updates very frequently compared to PyTorch. Now we come to differences between the two. So just follow me carefully. That PyTorch, in PyTorch, if you are dealing with the graphs, so this allows you to make dynamic graph. That means we can manipulate the graphs on the go during the runtime. But in TensorFlows, the graphs are static. That means you define the entire computation of the model, you run the model, and then your graphs will be plotted, and you cannot change them, right? And in PyTorch, you can dynamically change it. Like it is more intuitive. You know how to, what is going on with your graph. And PyTorch is really easy to understand. It is intuitive, more intuitive when you work with it because it is taking features of Python. And if you're working with Python, this PyTorch really helps you out. But TensorFlow is a little difficult and complex to understand because it is using various other libraries like session placeholder. So you have to understand what is really happening, and you have to call on these import all these libraries, unwrap it, wrap it, and all those things. So it becomes a quite complex thing to understand, and but with time, you get a hack of it. Now coming to the visualization part, the PyTorch, the visualization is usually by the basic libraries, that is matplotlib and cmon, but in TensorFlow, it is TensorBoard, which makes it unique. And I will cover it in separate slide because this is what makes TensorFlow unique. That is TensorBoard, the visualization in TensorFlow. Is PyTorch deployment ready? No, not yet, but it is not suitable for this deployment purpose. But TensorFlow is suitable for deployment purposes. It is made specifically for your production purpose. It is production ready. Now I come to TensorBoard. If you want to visualize your machine learning models in browser, TensorBoard or TensorFlow provides you with this facility with TensorBoard, because when you are working with TensorFlow, you can visualize your machine learning models in this TensorBoard. You understand the inner working of the model with the help of TensorBoard, and it also allows you to observe behavior of the training parameters over time because you can simply visualize it. So it is more giving you more control and edge over PyTorch. Okay, so now we are coming to the concluding part, and I'll tell you which one is better. So this is very difficult question, and It is not yet decided. So what people say, that if you want to go for deployment for production ready, that means you have trained your model, now you want to show it to others, and you want from training to production, that is deployment. So if you want to go for deployment, you use TensorFlow. But if you want to build a really simple easy neural network, you don't have to worry about production, so use PyTorch. And if you want to visualize, go for TensorFlow, because you get your tensor board there, and you can see how really your model looks like, right? So you work with both PyTorch and TensorFlow and figure out which one works best for you, because what is happening these days is that these two libraries, both PyTorch and TensorFlow, they are constantly upgrading themselves, and we see that they intersect or converge at the some point or the other. So it is very difficult to say which one is better than the other. So just work with both, choose which one is good for your model, and go ahead with that. Both are very good libraries. And this brings me to an end of this video. And that was all about deep learning framework, that is PyTorch versus TensorFlow. And it is not like a competition between the two, but yes, these big two giants are really bringing out the best for us. So another thing is that with the PyTorch, you have got a little less community support. In TensorFlow, you can get a lot of resources, community support, developers, and tutorials, and much more. While PyTorch is still catching up. Okay, so work with both and figure out yourself. So this was it for this video, and stay tuned for more upcoming videos on deep learning. So thanks for watching.